Hey, it's Marty Dodson. We're here at the SongTown studios. We have a record crowd in our studio audience. Overflow. Not even standing room only here. Our 3 chairs are all taken. People are sitting on amps. And we're here with John Ozier tonight. John and I work together at Olay, which is a international music publishing company based in Canada. John is kind of the head honcho in our Nashville office, head of creative, head song plugger. And you are one of the people that's most uniquely positioned to me in the music business because you have written hit songs. You've had #1 songs.
I have.
You have been an A&R person at Curb Records
I've
for
done that.
11 years.
Yep.
And now you're in publishing. So you've kind of been on every side of the desk. You've been the songwriter, you've been the plugger, and you've been the person being pitched to for the artist. So I'm looking forward to getting some wisdom from you. And
absolutely.
Everybody's excited about hearing what you have to say. But tell us a little bit about you, where you grew up, how you got into the music business, that kind of thing.
I literally grew up half a mile from where we are right now. I grew up in Green Hills in Nashville, went to school here, had no idea what was underneath my nose on 16th and 17th Avenue. Went to the University of Georgia, was going to go to law school, and was too immature to take the LSAT, and always played music, and thought, you know what, if I want to do this music thing, I better do it now. So I called a friend of my brother-in-law's and got an internship at Sugar Hill Records in Durham, North Carolina. So I packed my bags from Athens, Georgia, went to Durham, North Carolina, and literally worked for free from 8 to noon. I called Barry Poss, who owned the record company at the time, and said, I will clean your toilets, whatever I have to do to get in the business. And he said, well, why don't you come work in the mailroom? So I did. I was stuffing Dolly Parton CDs and mailing packages and, Red Clay Ramblers, Guy Clark, which actually really kind of fast forward, it's really where I grew an affinity for songwriting, hearing Guy Clark records and Scott Miller Band and some of those really more Americana, more folk records, but the songwriting was unbelievable. But I was working for free, so I worked from 8 to noon at the Sugar Hill, and then at noon I went to the Burger King in Durham and changed from my music clothes to my law clothes, put on a suit in the Burger King bathroom, and then worked at a law firm from 1 to 5 to pay the bills, and waited tables from 6 to 9 at night, and then played music at night. Did that for 4 months, and then Drew Alexander at Curb Music Publishing called and said, hey, Brad Kennard's left the company, would you be interested in interviewing? So I said, yeah, absolutely, and went to interview with Curb, and they literally hired me on the spot, and I spent 11 years there. Starting at the front desk at publishing house. Bill LaBounty was one of the writers. Bill would bring in his huge yellow legal pad with huge handwritten lyrics, and I would type them into the computer and started cataloging stuff, and everything was pretty lax there. They let us pitch songs, so early on I got really lucky getting songs cut, quite frankly. There are a couple songs that I love that I dropped off to Brian Wright and got a Leanne Womack cut like 2 months into the job. So that went from front desk to kind of part-time song plugger, and was at the Bluebird one night hanging out, and Doug Johnson, whom I didn't really know at the time, came up and said, man, would you like to be my assistant? I was like, yeah, absolutely. Who are you?
What do you do?
What do you do? And he said, well, I'm Doug Johnson, and we just started Curb Asylum with Hank Jr., Lee Bryce, Trick Pony, Blue County, some of those acts back then. So I kind of shifted from publishing to helping Doug on the record side, which ended up into kind of the synergy between Curb Publishing and Curb Records. They were really doing that before anybody was. I mean, this was 12 years ago. 13, 14 years ago. And so my job really essentially was to get Curb publishing songs cut on Curb acts. And I did that for several years, started the A&R admin department at Curb, which didn't exist at the time. And then when Doug left the company in 2010, I took over as head of A&R, which I did for 3 years before I came to Olay. That's kind of a quick snapshot. So I went from publishing to publishing record company to record company, back to publishing, and really had written songs kind of the whole way. But when I got to Curb and I heard what Walt Wilkins was writing and what Doug Johnson and Bobby Tomberlin and Gilles Godard, who was a writer at Curb, I thought, well, I better learn the business really quick because the songs that I was writing were nowhere close to what they were doing. So I kind of focused on that and kind of wound up where I am. You kind of poke your head up and it's like, gosh, I'm still doing it, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, how am I still here?
Pretty awesome.
That's cool. So tell me about being an A&R person, because a lot of our people have questions about how do you get? It almost seems like there's this wall, this barrier between the general public and A&R people, and so how do you get to those people? What are they looking for? Tell us a little bit about that role and what you learned from being in that role.
It's a tough gig because you're essentially a funnel. My job at Curb was to funnel great songs from the publishing community, whether it be in Nashville, whether it be songs from NSAI, really any outlet they funneled through us. So when I was head of A&R at Curb, I was listening to literally 600-700 songs a week at least, and they came from publishers in town, mostly writers. I tried to meet with everybody. I kind of had a rule early on that I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to have their song heard. You know, we hear songs every day, we talk about it every day, songs that are hits, and they probably are. It's just a matter of when it works for that artist at that right time. So I loved it. My favorite part about being an A&R guy is I got to hear the best songs from every publisher and every writer in town. I was limited where I could go with those songs. I think we had about 20 artists when I was at Curb. So if I heard a hit female song, I could take it to Winona or to Leanne Rimes or to Jody Messina or Ashley Gearing or any number of those females, but it was a finite number. I had who was on the Curb roster, and that was it. If I heard a hit for a male, it was Rodney Atkins, it was Lee Brice, McGraw, Tim Duggar. There were a couple handful. So when I heard a hit song, it was great because I was hearing songs from every hit writer in town, from you to Clausen to Luke Laird, Shane McAnally, Brett Jones, all those people. But I could only take it to a handful of artists. The flip side on the publishing, now when I hear a hit song from you guys, I can take it to anybody, which is pretty awesome. So you shift from hearing songs all across town to taking it to a small amount of artists, as opposed to hearing songs from a finite set of writers going to, everybody that's cutting in town.
Right.
So, but it's challenging. A&R, it's a tough job because people are coming at you left and right, and I think some of the best advice I got, Greg Hill told me, if you leave this spot, remember some of your best friends will be gone. It's all about the chair, and people are always trying to get to that person who's making the decisions. In the reality, I had a big influence on what songs got cut and what songs did not get cut. But at the end of the day, it's really a committee. It comes down to an A&R person, a producer, an artist, and everybody has an opinion, and it varies from project to project. So A&R's fun.
Depending on how much the artist has, cachet to say, I'm going to cut this or...
Yeah, really. It just depends. Every instance was different. I mean, working with Winona, who is a legend, an icon, and she was trying to record a record to put her back at radio, and as talented as she was, she didn't get what was going on musically. And she said she could outsing all of the females at radio, but it's finding that record that she could, that was palatable singing night in that still radio wanted to play. So Lee Brice was the easiest to A&R. Lee and I, actually, we signed Lee as a writer when I started as an intern. So we've been at number one parties and said, I remember when you were a no-name songwriter, and he said, I remember when you were a no-name intern. So Lee was one that initially, when you start out, songs get thrown on you. You are cutting this record company, the bad record company. You are cutting this, by God. And then you get to a point where you have a couple hits, and then to watch guys go from songwriter to artist to really having a voice and knowing what they want to say. Lee was the easiest A&R job in the world to just get out of his way and let him make music and be an advocate. I think as an A&R guy, and in my position now, you end up fighting the record company more. I mean, I was an artist-friendly person to where I would go to my boss, Mike Curb, and say, I think we should cut this because. So, as all along the creative process, you're always an advocate for songs.
So let's say I live in Iowa, and I've got a great song for Lee Brice. Is there a way to get it to the A&R person? Or, what would be the proper channels other than, dropping it in their sunroof or,
That's happened.
following them to church and handing it to them during the prayer?
I would not recommend that.
Yeah.
You could get arrested for that.
I've seen those happen.
Yeah. Use your PROs. BMI and ASCAP and CSAC are great. And there's services all around that some more effective than others. And, people answer emails every now and then,
Right.
I used to cold email people all the time when I was at Curb.
Okay. So there are ways to get there. It's not...
No, absolutely. And you know what? It's all on the merit of a song. And it's so cliche, and you see that it all begins with a song. If you have a great song, you can get in any door, anywhere. And I think you'll find that the great music guys that have been a part of so many hit records listen. They may not tell you they listen, but I mean, when I was working for Mike Curb, who sold hundreds and hundreds of millions of records, listened to just about every CD that came across his desk. And part of my job was to funnel what that was. So, but yeah, there's always hope, and if you have a great song, it's going to find a home at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, we always tell people, if you're not satisfied with the results you're getting, write a better song.
That's it.
It's less about the connections and more about the song.
Well, that's it. It's for even guys that have had hits, and it's all about 3 minutes. 3 minutes changes absolutely everything. We were at a point in Lee Bryce's career to where we'd had a couple stiff singles. I think we were on our 5th single, and at this point you start pointing fingers. It's my fault, A&R fault, it's Lee's fault, it's the publisher's fault, it's the management fault, and then a hit song comes along, and everything changes. And high-fiving each other
right.
and drinking champagne at a number one party. And hit song cures everything.
Remember that.
It's true.
So when you're an A&R person, what's your primary objective?
At the end of the day, it's about connecting a great song with a great artist and a producer who can create that magic in the studio.
So, do you have any stories about things people did wrong when pitching to a label? I bet you have some awesome stories.
Yes, gosh. You know, the worst is when people bring too much material. That was always the most annoying. Also, presentation is always... I mean, I like work tapes, and they're great. But know the person that you're pitching to. There's some people in town who love work tapes, and there are some people that could not hear a hit on a work tape at all. So just do your homework and be prepared. And be quick and be respectful of people's time.
So when you talk about too much material, how much is too much?
For me, 4 to 6 songs is really a sweet spot. I came from a pitch meeting to where literally I took 2 songs because that's all I felt like I had. And we hung for an hour, we played 2 songs, put them on hold, and that was it. So, yeah, just know what you're doing and do your homework. Well, and now I'll backpedal a little bit. When I was with Lee Bryce, we were at the Palm restaurant in Nashville meeting with publishers, and we were looking for, we want a song that you can raise your beer up at a festival and party to, and that's all we wanted. And Rusty Gaston said, well, I don't have that, but I have this ballad. And we kind of went, oh, Lord. And he played I Drive Your Truck. So obviously we ended up cutting it. It was Song of the Year. And we were out looking for a party song. Mm-hmm. So once again, a hit song cures everything. Regardless of what people say they're looking for, if you have that 3 minutes of magic, it changes everything.
Gee, I've always wondered this. As an A&R person, would you, if you found a song that you thought was awesome but you didn't have an artist for it right then, would you hang on to that song?
Absolutely. I still have comps in my car from 2.5 years ago.
Just songs you love?
Yeah. Because you never know. I mean... I worked for Doug Johnson, who had stacks and stacks of CDs from 80s, 90s, songs that he would always bring back. I think producers and A&R people do that, definitely. Because, once again, it's all about timing. You know, Lee may want to say something now that he didn't then, and things change, but, we always keep comps around. You have to. Great songs don't come along very often, so you got to hoard them.
So, as an A&R person, what caused you to jump out of your seat when you heard a song? What was it about the song that caused you to get excited?
For me, I'm a huge first line person. If you can't hook them in the first line, you're screwed. Because then how are you even going to get them to the chorus? And then a chorus has to hit me. And then it's not a science. Does it make the hair on your arm stand up? Does it make the hair on the back of your neck stand up? And I've been in some song meetings that were, stuff of the movies, to where I played Clay Walker a song, She Won't Be Lonely Long, and he literally jumped up on the table and was high-fiving and giving hugs, and there are moments when you just know. Just when you know.
I think a lot of times people perceive that it's these cold-hearted accountants in a room who don't care about music, and they're just, looking at the bottom line. Can we make, $500,000 on this on the radio? But it's encouraging to hear there's people that love music.
I don't think people understand an artist's life. They're on the road 300 days a year away from their families, living in a bus with 6, 8, 10 stinky band members, eating crap food. I mean, it's a hard life. So they've got to love it. Otherwise, it's not worth it. You couldn't pay them 10 times the amount of money that they make, because it's a really hard life. And I can only speak to the ones that I've worked with, but the ones that, like a Lee Bryce and a Winona, they eat and breathe music. It's what they were born to do. It's what they do. It's all they know how to do. So yeah, it's still a passionate business.
Yeah.
I mean, from the A&R side, from a writer side, from the record side, at the end of the day, we're all in this to change people's lives. And I've been a part of records. I've been a part of records that literally I watched change people's lives. So, yeah, the second you lose the passion and the affinity for the music, you might as well quit and go count staples.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, we want to be sure we've got time for music.
Yeah.
So we went through. We had 150.
No, 100, almost 165.
165 songs
We're gonna listen to them all.
submitted.
Right?
We're gonna listen to them all. So strap in. No,
We've done that for you.
Oh, whew.
We picked the top 10. They're our favorite top 10.
We had two great songwriters in Nashville that went through and gave us their favorite, and Marty and I picked 10 for you.
They gave us their top 20. We picked the top 10. So
Cool.
all these songs have been listened to 3 or 4 times.
Awesome.
And we're going to give you a lyric sheet. What we told John at the start was, we always tell you we're not here to like blow smoke or lead anybody on. We're here for the truth. So we told John to give people constructive criticism, and if there's something he loves, tell you he loves it. If he doesn't, tell you why, and then we'll go to the next song.
Yeah, and I'll give you a caveat. I'm not great at critiquing songs. I either like them or I don't. I can sometimes tell you what I like and sometimes tell you what I don't, but that's about all you're going to get from me.
All right. This one's called Fast. It was written by Kevin Kirk and Kate Smith.
Well, you have 130 people watching, so they're hanging on your every word.
So no pressure.
I'm nervous now.
Music will be here soon. Just a little more volume.
Gravel flying underneath the tires. Favorite song on the radio dial. You're sitting next to me, keeping time on my knee. I rode trees just a mile south. Tried to get you before the sun goes down. That big ball is winning. The wheel in the sky keeps spinning fast. I wanna make this last. You get a one-time chance for a first-time feeling. Kiss like that. In the middle of the middle with the marmalade sky. The sunset glow, fire in your eyes. Making this memory last. Wishing it didn't go by so
I dig that. I love the groove. I think it's really, really, really close. I mean, we'd probably pitch that in certain cases. There are a few language things that stuck out to me that was just a little funky. But in terms...
Marmalade?
Marmalade is a little weird. Meadow, in the middle of a meadow with a marmalade. This is not very conversational to me.
Right.
It sings great and it fit in the line great. It sat in the pocket. The phrasing and all of that's really cool. I mean, it sounds like what sitting in that Clausen mid-tempo thing that just feels really good. I even love a lot of the verses. Other than just that couple weird language stuff, I dig that. Really cool.
So they could probably fix that up into something cool.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'd look at that. The Marmalade, Meadow and Marmalade were just a little funky to me.
It's funny how we pick up on that right away because we're around it every day and we hear so many songs, so we have a sense. So this is helpful for people out there that aren't around what we're around every day to know, okay, well, that's like kind of not language that we would use.
Well, I mean, it's like I wouldn't say, hey, you want to go drink in the meadow later?
Yeah.
You know,
I'm down.
And if you ask Clay that, I would say, you all need...
If there's tequila, I'm down.
Clay will go to a meadow with you for tequila.
But no, and it's, you want songs are conversational. You want them to sound like you're sitting here talking like we are.
Yeah.
Everything else about that song is great. I mean, I think with a few tweaks, we'd pitch that.
It's awesome. That's what we'd like to hear.
There you go.
This one's called We Burned by Ray Weaver and Michael Scott, straight from Denmark.
Oh, nice.
Beating fast for a new love. Rarely have time to stop and listen to reason. Back row nights, living out loud. We laughed when they told us we ought to slow down. We became the only thing that we believed in. When we burned like a Carolina sky on the 4th of July, we raged out of control. A goodbye tear in a lover's eye. You left a sweet scar on my soul. Back when love was young and wild, we learned when we burned. When my heart remembers you best, sitting on my tailgate in a summer dress with nothing on underneath but your perfect skin. Your head on my chest, your hands on my hips, the taste of summer wine on your lips. I'd give anything if we could go back there again. When we burned like a Carolina sky on the 4th of July, we raged out of control. Like a goodbye tear in a lover's eye, you left a sweet scar on my soul. Back when love was young and wild, we learned when we burned each other till we both disappeared like smoke on the Dixie wind. I swear some nights I still can't feel your hot breath on my skin.
That's cool. I like that demo. I like a lot of the space into it, and it sounds something like that was probably done at home, which I think is totally acceptable and cool. It kind of stood out. The hook's a little weird to me. Just when we burned, it didn't really hit me immediately. Like, wow, what a great hook and great title. I think trying to clear it up in the bridge was smart, but as an A&R and publisher guy, I don't know if I would have gotten there, to be honest. Once again, it's really, really close. A lot of the phrasing and melody stuff is cool, but just nothing that really stuck out and said, you got to cut this, or you got to go pitch this.
I wondered if it'd be stronger even to say, and we burned.
I think that makes more sense.
Just to say, we're the only thing we believed in, and we burned. like a Carolina Sky and the 4th of July.
Yeah, there
That
you go.
helps it for me. And
Isn't
then
it funny, one word.
yeah, and I thought the "we learned" didn't quite set it up. You know, back when love was young and wild, we learned. And we
I'm
burned.
crushed. I have a song called "And We Burned."
Well, you
Hey,
need to,
you put the and.
Well,
it could have been
that's
the
the
and.
difference, yeah.
Could have been the difference.
well.
Hey, one word makes a big difference.
They need to change it and compete with you on that.
Yeah.
All right.
But no, really cool. I think a lot of the language in there is cool. I mean, I like the Carolina Sky on the 4th of July. There's some really cool stuff in there. Just a couple tweaks again.
Awesome. All right, this one's called "Sundown Town" by Ben Crane and Sandy Ramos.
Ramos.
I've lived a year without you inside these city limits, but you still cross my mind when that 9 to 5's finished. These sidewalks empty out when the daylight ends. I go 2 short blocks past our coffee shop, and then I'm there at the bus stop where we first met. I swear sometimes it's like you never left. You're always around this sundown town. I see your face on every corner and street, every night about now. Turn back. No matter where I go, I feel trapped. Your memory's always tracking me down in the sundown town. I can't ignore our initials up there on that water tower. It's one more sad reminder on my way to happy hour. Then I run into your best friend as I walk into the bar. I can't keep myself from asking how you are. I try not to stare as I go by our old booth, but there's a girl sitting there and she looks a lot like you.
Yeah, it is a great vocal. That melodic and that first two lines of melody in the chorus is really, really cool. I mean, once again, it's real close. There's nothing. That second verse felt like it drugged just a little bit.
Didn't advance it enough.
Yeah, it didn't, and melodically in the verses, it got a little boring. I wanted a little something else, something a little more interesting. I love the hook. I love that title, Sundown Town.
Yeah.
I've never heard it. I think it's really cool and really hip. It just kind of lost me in that second verse a little bit.
Maybe do a half-second verse or something.
Yeah, maybe cut that second verse in half. And I'd look some of you at the back of this chorus. It feels like you probably went to Rhyme Zone or Rhyme Brain to see what rhymed with back on that trap. That line just felt like it kind of came out of nowhere and it rhymed, but I don't think it really fit in that song.
Yeah.
But once again, it's really close and unfortunate when it comes to songs close. And are you an editor when it comes to rewrite? Are you?
Yeah.
Because there's some people that... Are you an editor, Clay?
If it needs it,
Yeah.
I tweak and tweak as I'm writing until it's there. But
Yeah, I tend to do it while I'm writing too, but I do go back and edit.
And I guess it's because we have a writer at Ole who is a editor who will work on a song for years, which is great, as long as they get finished. And so, yeah, once again, it's just a few small tweaks, and I'd go back and visit it because you have a really cool hook. And like I said, some of those melody things in the front half of that chorus are super hooky, and I mean, it feels like something that David
Big,
Nail
yeah.
or that big soaring Rascal Flattsy type thing. So, really close.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, that's great. I mean, I think that's a great critique to hear, is that you're close. Just do, tweak it a little bit and work on it.
And that's it. And it's, it's for guys who are getting paid big money to do it. So there's songs that are coming really close. And you just
he tells me to rewrite things sometimes.
John, if Marty brought you that song, would that be your advice? Like, hey, why don't you tweak this or that? Is that something a publisher does?
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's part of our job, because once again we're on the same team here, and it's, hey, if you look at a couple of these lines and retweak them, and I think it'll give me a better shot going to get it cut for you. So yeah, absolutely, critique is a huge part of it, because once again, as a song plugger, you're only as good as your songs. So yeah, I think that's a huge part of what a publisher should do.
All right, this one's called Moonshine by Russell Sutton.
Starstruck as soon as you started down the steps and up next to me in the shotgun seat. I kept swerving, but you kept smiling. I'm not sure that I should have been driving, 'cause you were all that I could see. But now you're waiting on a good night kiss, and I'm getting dizzy just leaning in with the moonshine burning tonight. Lighting you up down from heaven like a spotlight. Ooh, my head keeps spinning, wishing on stars you put in my eyes. Sparks flying like the 4th of July, got me buzzing like a marquee sign in a movie coming alive. With you and I on a moonshine Saturday night. You must be thinking I'm wasted, watching me stumble in conversation. But baby, you're all that's on my lips. Oh yeah. I admit I got a one-track mind, looking for a way to keep the sun from rising, so I can kick back, drink you in, stick it in with every little sip of this moonshine burning tonight. Lighting you up down from heaven like a spotlight. Ooh, my head keeps spinning, wishing on stars you put in my eyes. Sparks flying like the 4th of July, got me buzzing like a marquee sign in a movie coming alive. With you and I on a moonshine Saturday night. On a moonshine Saturday night. I know that it might sound crazy. I wanna tell you that I love you, baby. And if you don't, I was hoping that maybe I could just blame it all on the moonshine burning tonight, lighting you up down from heaven like a spotlight. Ooh, my head keeps spinning, wishing on stars you put in my eyes. Sparks flying like the 4th of July, got me buzzing like a marquee sign in a movie coming alive. With you and I on a moonshine Saturday night.
That's cool. I really dig that. I think it's pretty competitive. I mean, with what I'm hearing day to day. Once again, there are a few language things, marquee sign I'd look at, but overall, I think it's a really good song. I love the groove, and I think the demo is cool and hip and competitive, and
I like the phrasing. There's some just real cool.
real cool, and it
Bouncing
sits in
back
that
and forth.
pocket that just feels good.
So you think it would need a little tweaking lyrically before it was pitched?
Yeah, just a
probably?
lyric. Yeah, that's one that I'd probably like to go play for my creative staff and say, hey, Ben, Strain, and Emily, and Shalene, what do you all think of this? Because, I think that's something, I think we could have a shot at it in Canada with some
Yeah.
Canadian acts, and I think
We'll
it could
get you a
have
copy of it.
yeah, cool.
Awesome. All right. Good job, Russell. This one is Russell Sutton. This one's Best Seats in the House by Kelly McGrath.
All right.
Picked her up at 3, the show was at 8. Hit the stadium early so we could tailgate. At showtime she dug through her bag, looking like she might cry. She forgot the tickets and thought I'd be mad. I cracked a dumb joke and got her to laugh, saying, come on girl, why don't we listen a while? And she smiled. So we sat right there on the hood of my car. She looked so cute playing air guitar. We sang along and waved our phones. The stars above were our light shone. She held on to me so tight, ain't no doubt we had the best seats in the house. By the fourth song there was no one in the lot. We heard every single note from our parking spot. It was like the band was playing just for us. Every little kiss she gave me out there, I wouldn't trade for the front row, I swear. I knew in that moment I was falling in love, so in love. Yeah, we sat right there on the hood of my car. She looked so cute playing air guitar. We sang along, waved our phones. The stars above were our light shone. She held on to me so tight, ain't no doubt we had the best seats in the house. I didn't want to let her go after that encore. Then they answered my prayers and they played one more. And we sat right there on the hood of my car. She looked so cute playing air guitar. We sang.
That's cool. It doesn't just kill me. There's some things that feel a little forced in the verses, and just lyrically, it's not something that just grabs me and thinks, "Oh my God, I've got to run out the door and play it."
Mm-hmm. All right.
So, yeah. I mean, it feels good, and some of the melody stuff is real cool. I just, topic-wise, I feel like I've heard it written before, and I just want.
It's because you'd be mad if your wife forgot the tickets.
I would be pissed.
All right. Moving on. This one is called Big Words, and it's by Mary Haller, who's sitting behind you, so be nice.
Ain't much for crossword puzzles or Sunday afternoon snuggles. But here I am with a blanket and a pen and a sweet thing cuddling up to me on the sofa. A t-shirt sliding off her shoulder. She's reading off clues that all I wanna do is say some big words, working up my nerve. Say all the things that I wanna say. Like I love you, girl, and forever. And tell her I wanna be with her every day. They don't take much space up on a page, but it ain't no small thing to say those big words. Yeah, that's some big words. A little hard to concentrate with her hand resting on my leg, but I play it cool. Know what I'm gonna do, cause I've been saving up for a little ring. Wanna make this a permanent thing, but it's gotta come out right when I look into her eyes and say those big words, working up my nerve. Say all the things that I wanna say. Like I love you, girl, and forever. And tell her I wanna be with her every day. They don't take much space up on the page,
First of all, I love that demo. It just feels really
Isn't that
good. Yeah, there's just a ton of energy and it just feels good. Second, did you write that by yourself? It's so. I've noticed a couple times we've seen some 100%ers, which is so nice to see. I feel like a lot of times in Nashville we get used to co-writing and use it as a crutch or an excuse to go to work. So it's great to see people writing 100% songs.
Sorry to turn.
No, that's all right. Yeah, that's really. I love the melody and a lot of. Who is that singing the demo?
Jason Eustace.
Okay, he sounds great too. Yeah, I dig a lot of the phrasing and I like it. I'd like to listen to it a couple more times.
Key of C sharp.
There you go. There you go.
All right, we'll get you a copy of that one.
Yeah, very cool.
Awesome. I love that when I hear a title I've never heard or a title used in a way I've never heard. I love it, and that's one where I was like, oh, she got me.
Yeah, great, and it's and it's not overthinking it too. It's fun and it feels good, and I love all the woos. It's then Doug Johnson used to tell me when we were doing A&R, it's like for 3 minutes as a songwriter, if you can take the 35-year-old woman who's driving down the road in a van with 3 kids screaming in the back, and you can take her mind off having to pay bills and the kids screaming, if you can take their mind off of it for 3 minutes and you've done your job. And sometimes it doesn't have to save the world or cure cancer. Sometimes it just feels good, and for 3 minutes it's ear candy, and sometimes that's what a song's supposed to do, and that kind of has that feel.
Awesome. All right, this is called Cool Heat. It's by Clayton Jones and Lisa Witters.
Makes your white dress glow. You've got my chest, about to explode. You're like a shot of hot damn on ice, burning down off the road. You got that cool heat, keeping it chill, turning me on all night, making my heart race 0 to 60 from the starting line. You got that cool heat, keeping it real, burning me up all night. Got that cool, cool heat, cool heat. Girl, you've got every man in this room stumbling over their words and falling off of their bar stools just to try to talk to you. So how did I end up being the lucky one to dance with you? Got that cool heat, keeping it chill, turning me on all night, making my heart race 0 to 60 from the starting line. You got that cool heat, keeping it real, burning me up all night. You got that cool heat, cool heat. You got that cool heat, cool heat. Hey!
I love that. What a great groove.
Everybody in the room's going.
Hey, and there's that R&B thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was awesome.
And I've never heard "Hot Damn" used
I
in a
neither.
song. You know, it's a whiskey.
Yeah.
Hot Damn.
I know.
I used to drink it.
Well, hot damn.
Well, hot damn. Yeah, that's cool. That's another one to me that's don't overthink it. It just feels good, and I couldn't wait to get back into that chorus. You know,
Yeah.
once you went into that bridge and that second musical part, it's like, God, just get back to the ear candy.
And you're
So-
singing it by the second chorus, too.
Yeah, I thought we were going to start dancing.
We might. I thought you were going to ask me to dance. Awesome.
Yeah, that's
So-
cool. I'd like to hear that again.
Okay,
I
we'll
really
get you
would.
a copy of that one.
Ben Strain would jam all over the
He
office
would.
to that
He'd be
one.
dancing to
He's
that.
Getting down.
Could you imagine like Sam Grow singing that?
I could.
That would be
Oh.
I really could.
that voice, that big voice.
Gravelly voice.
Yep.
That's one of our artists at Olay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another one. Melody. I'm the melody guy, and it depends on, once again, who you're playing, and it just feels good.
All right, this is Hitting Home by Andrew Adamson.
Okay. Another 100%.
Feels good to get back. Bar table with the names that we scratched and everyone we used to know. Dim lights, old times. Try to ignore that you're always on my mind. Yeah, it happens every time I go. 'Cause I'll be hitting home on Friday. Get a bunch of old friends beside me. No matter where I go, I'll be looking around, hanging on to hope that I'll see you with that crowd. Girl, I gotta know if we still got it. Am I the only one that ain't forgotten? 'Cause this town reminds me who we used to be. And that's hitting home for me. Half of me is thinking that it'd be too much. 'Cause what if you're with him? The other half has seen too many movies. Then she'll say the right thing and bring it back to me with a good line. Slow drive down the street where we kissed for the first time. The more I talk about it, the more I'm ready to go. 'Cause I'll be hitting home on Friday. Get a bunch of old friends beside me. No matter where I go, I'll be looking around, hanging on to hope that I'll see you with that crowd. Girl, I gotta know if we still got it. Am I the only one that ain't forgotten? 'Cause this town reminds me who we used to be. And that's hitting home for me. That's hitting home for me. I won't run into that girl, fall so hard and wreck my world in the best way. Take it back to the best days. Dim lights, old times. Can't forget that you're always on my mind. Yeah, I'll be hitting home on Friday.
That's cool. I like a lot of the phrasing, but some of that language seems pretty square to me. Just
Ordinary, you mean?
yeah, ordinary, and just I don't want to just square. It just some of it is so proper and structured that it doesn't really fit to a lot of the rappy
Okay.
phrasing part of it.
So it's not the rappies would lend more to slang.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
real
you-
conversational.
Yeah, I mean, get a bunch of old friends beside me. To me, that sounds a little more proper than what the melody felt like,
Right.
and it caught me. I was thinking while some of those language choices were a little odd to me.
Get
Instead
some
of
friends
listening-
up in here.
Yeah, a bunch of
Awesome. All right.
But that's cool. I'm blown away by a lot of the melody and phrasing stuff. It's
we got
really,
some good writers out here.
yeah, it's
Telling you.
really cool and really fresh.
One of the cool things, like we said, we got people from Denmark, from Lisa that you like the cool heaps, from Iowa. So there's just a lot of people that just don't have access to a lot of people, and
Yeah.
but they're writing great stuff.
Well, think about that too. I mean, have any of these writers had hits? Or and think if they were here writing with, because a lot of what we do here is politics too, which you hate to say, but it's the reality.
Yeah.
So it's imagine some of these writers in the rooms with guys who are having hits. I mean, who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
there's no reason they shouldn't be having hits too.
Yeah.
So
All right, this is I'm From the Country by Chris Ising.
bring it, Chris.
My daddy was a hard-working man with honesty and deep callous hands. Spent his life on the railroad line, working double shifts to make his dime. Mama worked to make a real good home with only 4 rooms and rooms to go. 3 brothers, best of friends, cussing and fighting until the day's end. I know where I go. This concrete place ain't home. I'm 1,000 miles from those old dirt roads. I know where I come from and I ain't ashamed, y'all. I come from way down south where the cotton grows and we draw it out. Yes, sir, respect you, man. Was born on mountains and we say amen. My mama ain't gonna raise no fool, but I wish a little hell all through school. I grew up to be a college man, no matter where I land. I'm from the country.
Do you know, is that Chris singing? Do you know?
I don't know.
I don't know. He's sending a lot of songs that sound similar to this.
I just, if that is him as an artist thing for him, I get that more than an artist pitch for someone. Just because some of it's, Daddy always put a little away, said he'd get me to college come day, graduated with a law degree, now I'm working on a road they call Wall Street. That would pigeonhole it from a pitching standpoint, because a lot of these guys who are singing every night won't sing something that they aren't. But if that's for him as an artist and that's him singing, then it makes more sense. I love the aggressive tempo thing. So once again, some of the phrasing stuff in the verse is really hip, and I mean that's something that a Brantley in the vein of that, and those songs get cut. It's just where it gets a little specific and pigeonholes it when it gets really specific about graduating with a law degree.
So if he wrote that where an artist might relate to it more.
Yeah, I mean I'd look at the back half of that. And I love the feel. It's real close. Once again, I don't know that I'd run out and call Jason Aldean and say I have your next number one, but it's real close. And once again, if it's for him as an artist thing, I get it. And it's probably a great live song, which people are always
That
looking
is
for.
him singing.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Well, that makes a lot of sense. So, cool song.
All right, and our final song for the night. It's called Vacay. It's written by Vanessa Selwyn, all the way from Australia.
Oh, cool. Gosh, what time's it there?
I think it's about the same time, just a day ahead. She's in tomorrow. So she probably already knows what you're going to say.
That's heavy.
She knows what you're going to say.
I wonder if that helps when you're playing the stock market.
I don't know.
It's getting late here.
It all went to hell with working till I'm deadbeat. Truck roll, tire blue, pain in my tractor seat. All that change, girl, you came by like a switch. You flipped my worn down mind. I can see you and me setting free, getting our leave here on. Yeah, you make me wanna vacate, drop everything and fly away. White sand runways, 10 lines long on lazy days. Tell me, girl, you feel the same. You make me wanna vacate, vacate, yeah. See you in your sundress, tying up your long hair, flip-flops, shades on, margarita double dash. I can get us tickets on the next red eye. We'll wake on a beach at night nearby. Salt and lime summertime blowing off the daily grind without a care. Yeah, you make me wanna vacate, drop everything and fly away.
It doesn't just kill me. I mean, it's not something that I would just run up and down Music Row with. It feels good, and it's it's a lifestyle song that seems to work, and there are artists that have made huge careers on it. Just to me, it's just close, but just not quite there.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being honest.
Yeah.
Your opinions. I wasn't texting a while ago. I took notes on songs you wanted copies of. So,
good.
Congratulations.
Well, I was going to say the song with Ford Chris Ising. It was a single in Canada, and Scott Cook, who engineers for Florida Georgia Line,
Yeah.
mixed it.
Very cool.
Oh, cool. So it was a
Nice
single
job.
on Chris in Canada?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
He's a Canadian artist.
Gotcha.
If you need admin, Chris, call away. We can collect that money for you.
They're in Toronto.
We're based in Toronto.
But congrats to Mary Haller, to Russell Sutton, to Lisa Witters for songs that John liked. We'll get you copies of those to hear
Honorable
again.
mentions.
Honorable mentions were... So these kind of round out the top 20 songs. If I can get to them here. Where? Let's Get Lost in Love Tonight. J.D. Andrews. Rick Murphy's If You Need Somebody. William Weaver. Oh, no, When We Burn was on there. Let's see. All right, those were them. That was the honorable mentions.
Okay, and we have a crash course with Tia Sillers.
We have sign-ups going on for Crash Course with Tia Sillers. And so check the website for that and be looking there for daily blogs and new videos coming out soon. Y'all have a good night. Thanks again.
Thank you.